Welcome to the Blue Pod. I'm your host, Tess Hampton, joined as always by my co-host, Matt Duthie. Matty, minor premiers, no worries for this Blues team. We are charging into the wildcard round as the informed team in the comp. Who would have thought? I've said that for the last 3 weeks in the intro, who would have thought, but I'm still shocked.
I was trying to think of some pun about sinking the Dockers or something like that. But
I like where you're going with that.
Yeah, we officially the best team in the second half of the season and come flying into finals.
And as Dan Gorringe has gone on about, you don't want us, and I think it's we'll talk about it, but what a fate for Melbourne to have a pretty stellar season, find themselves sixth, playing us with the horrors of 2023 for them, the utter glory of 2023 for us in the back of everyone's minds.
Yeah, different contrasting seasons, isn't it?
Yeah, it's crazy. But Matty, a hell of a game against the minor premiers, and we certainly will be talking about that, but of course we'll also be talking about the wildcard game to come on Saturday night. We'll do it in our usual fashion. In the first quarter, we break up into 4 quarters. If you're new, welcome to the YouTube channel or the podcast. Thanks for following. Hit subscribe. We'll only have a few. Hopefully, we have many episodes left this year, Maddie. We will see
final
how far
series.
we go. Yeah, exactly. But we break the pod into the 4 quarters. In the first, we give our reaction to the game, and maybe we'll chat a little bit about what's to come as well. In the second quarter, we are talking about the players, and it's a big week on the Blue Pod because we will be naming the winner of the BluePod B'n'F for 2026. So everyone's going to have huge suspense there. That's coming for you. In the third quarter, we have the coach's box with our second iteration of the coach's box with Fraser appointed. If you're just listening and missing out on the YouTube graphics Matt's putting in, you're missing out on some beautiful coach's box antics. And in the fourth quarter, we'll open our mailbag. Hopefully the people have helped me out. I've done a very late call out, but I've had a quick glance and I think the goods have come through and we've got some questions to answer. So let's dive in. Carlton, 18, 11, 119. Getting over 100 isn't even news for us anymore, Maddie.
Standard.
Defeat the minor premiers, 12, 10, 82. Goals, Frankie Evans with a career best 5. Beautiful. Ainsworth with a great day out with 3. Kemp with 3, including that stunning banana. That was amazing. We'll talk about that, no doubt. McKay with 2. Akers, Cripps, Holland, Smith and Walsh with 1 apiece. Disposals, Walshy led the way with 32. Smith on 31. Florent, 29. Hewitt, 29. And Cripps on 24. Maddie, that was another outstanding performance, a great hit out prior to finals. What did you make of it?
It was great. I mean, obviously, good win.
Yeah.
We're becoming a Marvel team and a shootout team, aren't we? Which is interesting. It does concern me slightly about the G and finals
Saturday,
coming up, which will be another thing. We'll see how we handle that.
We love playing a Marvel.
And I'm going to just toot my own horn here, but early on in the game, when the ball was pinging end to end and both teams were scoring, and we were down by a couple goals still.
Yeah,
but I shot out the group text message and said,
I've got the receipts.
Yeah, this is just like the Brisbane's game. Like, here we go. Watch out.
Yeah, you called it.
And
he's giving you Brisbane game vibes.
It wasn't quite the same margin, but it was pretty similar how it played out. We stuck with them, and the other team weren't able to stick with us in the shootout. And quick in the dead, and away we went. We were the victors.
It was crazy, Matty, and had that feeling about it, didn't it? We very sadly both, for various reasons, couldn't be at the ground, but I've talked to my dad who was there, and we had that feeling, and you could hear it through the TV, of just the Carlton faithful losing their minds, and you can hear it with the boys being interviewed after the game as well. The fever in the stadium when we're playing like that and the excitement, there's nothing quite like it, and that momentum and emotion and joy that the team's bringing, it's just amazing to watch and be a part of right now.
Yeah, you always have the players come out and say, we don't get too high, we don't get too low. But as supporters, we get very high and we get very low.
And very low.
And at the moment, we're very high. So we're riding the wave up the top at the moment.
We are so high, Matty. But it's interesting because at the start of the game, I wasn't in your boat. You did call it early, but when they kicked the first few, I thought, what? I thought we'd give them a shake. What's going on here? So never mind that. Well, we stormed back.
The fascinating thing about the way we play is, and if we can score, that looks great. But it's interesting. I think I can almost sum it up as if we have the ball, they can't win. Do you know what I mean? Like they can't score. So we play this game style where we possess the ball, and if we're moving it well, we just deny the other team chances to score and just only increase our own. So just, I don't know, just sort of the way we were able to score so easily gave me confidence early on. And I thought, this feels like the same. And probably
Back to the style we've been playing more than...
Yeah, and I think probably I thought, and I don't want to give excuses for Freo, but I thought, if we can maintain the rage and look like this is a contest, I thght they might wilt faster than us, especially considering what was on
less on the line.
Yeah, not that we had heaps on the line, but maybe a potential home game or
Melbourne final.
Yeah, improving our position, having to travel to Adelaide. So I got good vibes early. And it was interesting. We had Gov with the slick hands early and couldn't kick, and then Brody came home strong and really good
Lewis
contribution.
Young missed a few.
He's frustrating as a forward because he's got really good hands. He actually takes some good marks, but geez, kicking for goal is absolutely atrocious.
Shocking. Yeah, absolutely shocking. But it was the pressure we brought, and obviously epitomised by that beautiful Ollie Hollands tackle, which I think was outstanding. But I also want to give a shout out to Cowan. I thought the fact they ran together it was almost a double tackle in the sense they both were like, we're getting this guy, and it was a matter of who laid the final blow. Well, but obviously that was Ollie, so huge props to him for that. Symptomatic of the way our team's playing, though. Hungry for everything.
It is. There was something the other day, I don't know if it was an opinion article or a Champion Data's stats, or it was like players likely to break out next year, and Cowan was one of the Carlton players on the list.
He's already broken out.
But no, top-notch effort from Ollie Hollands there. Ran past Cowan and they both sort of got to him, one and then the other. Amazing chase down. So that was a great effort for him to come back into the side. And I think he was you could have excused him almost for, I don't know, taking it a bit easy, Ollie Hollands, with his future on the line and not sure where you're going. And especially a player who's potentially looking for a new contract. The last thing you want to do is get hurt in the last game of the season, or potentially his last game of the season.
True.
But he fully committed. I think he went really hard, did everything you'd hope he was going to do. And
I thought he had some moments of Carlton of old with his game style, though.
Yeah, there's still some things about him. It's really I think there's always been the knock on him. His disposal's just not quite elite enough because he's never going to be a big body, but he's a really good runner. And he does, I think he's always shown good effort and good heart. But at times his disposal just really lets him down. If he was an elite kick, he would be a fantastic winger.
Yeah, no, it's true. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And I totally agree, Maddie. It was fantastic to see him put that level of effort out there and leave it all on the line. And he played a ripper game. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. While we're speaking of him, obviously we'll do players next quarter, but there was a moment in the game that he was a part of, not just the big tackle, but the no free at the end of the third quarter when he got that front-on contact for a mark.
Especially when we had one paid against us. That was, very simple. We had a few questionable decisions go against us in the last there.
We did, and it didn't matter, which is just, we've commented on it before. We're not sitting here, spewing over that because, yes, that didn't go our way, but we still found a way to put the foot down anyway. But I was worried because that happened at the end of the third quarter. The Freo kicked the first goal, the fourth, and I was like, I'm really frustrated. And the commentators have been talking up how Freo were great in third quarters. They put the foot down, how we go, but maybe you're right. Maybe they didn't have the hunger this week, but certainly we kept the foot on the pedal and streamed home.
Well, I know they left a couple out, but they came across with a pretty full team. They only left a few guys off their list, so they only kept their game time down a little. So they were definitely in a sort of preservation mode, but it wasn't full preservation mode. It was 95% of their squad playing 90% of their time. So. I think we took it right up to them. And then just to get back to your fact about the umpires, for long-time listeners, they will have heard me use this analogy many a times in the past, but don't leave it in the judge's hands.
I love that one.
We haven't been doing. And it's nice to be sitting here talking about a good win rather than, we lost by a goal and got screwed by the umps in the last.
Completely, Maddie. It's so satisfying. We are, as you kind of said in the intro to the pod, the informed team of the second half of the year. Since Fraser's taken over, we've officially won the most games.
We have, with that win over Freo. We're top of the ladder after round 10 now. It's crazy. It's really funny listening to some of the commentary and playback. There's obviously the Carlton haters out there who say, you're a wild card. You've got no hope of influencing finals. And then you have the others that are right on the, whatever you want to call it, the Fraser freight chain or the bandwagon. And they're the best team in the comp. Of course they're going to be a chance. The reality is we have to win 5 games in a row as opposed to 3 games by the top teams. But hey, we've won 10 and a half out of the last 13 or something like that.
Out of the last 13.
A chance.
Anything's possible this year, Maddie. It's unbelievable. And I think we've got a few questions about that coming in our mailbag. But you do start to wonder what this team can do. I mean, if we weren't coming from so far back, we'd be pretty darn excited with the form we've shown.
It's Yeah, coming from the wild card position, it's always going to be tough. I mean, when it was the top 8, it was always top 4. Now it's really top 6 because it's an interesting one for us though. Like we didn't play with form going into that wild card. We pretty much we only rested Haynes and Hayward, who are obviously both pretty sore. And in some ways, we're still learning and we've got this momentum. You wonder what a week off would do. Like
I agree.
In some ways,
I don't know if I'd want the break.
Yeah, for our team. Yeah, if you're a really sore and beat up team and maybe been struggling, the week off might do you good. But I think with the way we're going, I think a rolling stone gathers no moss.
Totally, I agree. We've got a little bit of Bulldogs 2016 about us, but let's not get ahead of ourselves.
I know, it's where your mind goes, isn't it?
Go out round 1.
Yeah.
So, but it is really, really exciting. We have a couple other things before we move on to the second quarter. Just tonight, Cripps has been announced as an All-Australian squad member.
Oh, yes. I thought you were going to say the team for a second. He's the team out. He's in the squad,
No. He's in the squad, so that's great. Do you think anyone was stiff to miss out?
I thought Walsh had a better season than Cripps.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking through our team and I don't really think there's anyone else that probably would have pushed for All-Australian. I don't think.
No, I don't think so either.
Like had a full good season, the whole season long.
Yeah. No, I think those two probably. I think it's Walsh who's possibly been overlooked there. And even in the media coverage of, who was stiff to miss out, he's not being named. And I'm like, I think he's been been pretty good.
I think he's been good. I think he's probably I think he's had a good year. But yeah, he's the only one. Up forward, we've had solid contributions, but nothing outstanding.
It's kind of great. The spread of goal kickers is fantastic that we're not relying on just 2 as we have every other year.
Ainsworth's had an amazing season now in hindsight, but I think he probably started, he's pretty consistent throughout the whole year. Hayward back half of the year has been really good, but I think we've had too many guys who probably in the first 10 weeks when we weren't playing well enough. So it's probably cost them all Australian spots.
I think so. And Billy Wilson finally got his Rising Star nod. Yeah. How good is that, Maddie? So well deserved.
Yeah, no, we've been talking about him a lot, and it's nice to see him get the nod in the last round.
Yeah, it's fantastic. But Maddie, I don't know what else to say about the game. It's funny because I kind of want to dwell on the fact we just casually beat the minor premiers and streamed home, but also we've got so much exciting things to talk about coming up. And
this has been mentioned a few times, but I think we just got to acknowledge the fact that we've picked off so many finals teams. We've already beaten the Bulldogs. We've beaten Brisbane, Melbourne, Freo, Geelong. Wonder if I added any.
Drew with the doggies.
Anyway, Drew with the doggies. Anyway, it's nice as opposed to previous years or other teams who may have got in but not been anyone above them. So I think that will give what probably gives us real hope.
I think we at least make whoever's playing us rightly nervous, and that's a nice. It's not like that'll be an easy road.
The big challenge will be. Sorry, I know we're dragging it out. We'll get into the players in a second.
Hear it.
But I think the big challenge, and we've done this so well under Fraser, but will we be able to have the mental fortitude to maintain the new style? With everything on the line, and if things don't go your way and the other team kicks a few goals or we build a big lead and get nervous and want to hold the lead. Yeah, so I'll be fascinated to see what sort of belief they have in the method and the system, which I think they will. Yes. I think they might, but this will be a real test. That's the challenge, not to go into your shells and defend the scoreboard, but keep using all the cliches, but genuinely keep playing the way we've been playing our way. That is going to be interesting. It's going to be a fascinating matchup, Maddie. But before we get to that, let's get into the second quarter. Everyone's waiting with bated breath to hear our BNF. All right, let's start the second quarter before we get to the BNF, how we always do, naming our boy and our whipping boy. Our boy didn't make our best and fairest votes, but we want to give them a shout out. And our whipping boy, well, that's self-explanatory. So let's start with the whipping boy. Maddie, who have you got this week? Do you find it a tough week for the whip? No. Oh, okay. Got someone. Oh, well, I went with Gov. Yeah, he was one of my 2 options. Just for his poor goal kicking. He's had his best season ever as a forward. Right in the twilight of his career, and let our goal kicking all year only be pipped by Kemp at the end, and we'll talk about him, I'm sure, soon. But yeah, his hands were so good early and had a real chance to stamp a bit of authority on the game, and then it just sprayed him. And it hurts morale, doesn't it, when you're missing those shots at crucial times. And we've criticised Kemp, we've criticised McKay previously for bad kicking, and Maybe not quite as crucial as it used to be, where we only got a few chances at goal and only ever kicked about 10 goals a game. We kick a few more nowadays, so we get a few more chances. Perhaps it doesn't hurt as much, but
when you're playing the top team,
they're just really poor misses. Like you always want to kick the
Very
goal,
gettable.
but there is some where they kick him, and you can tell it's not a bad kick, and it's just swung or
Harry
just
missed one where I
and-
was like, oh, that's a nice kick, but
he
just
struck
didn't
it
make
or whatever. But yeah, when you're spraying them and not getting anything and just looking, it's just a morale killer. So he was my whipping boy.
Yeah, I think that's well earned, Maddie. It was a bit of a morale killer, although he plucked some good marks. So hopefully he gets his kicking boots on. Similarly, I named Lewis Young for a similar reason.
Fair enough.
Although I actually think he's been quite handy the last few weeks, but I just thought he ended up on the end of a few beautiful plays, and I was like, that's lovely. And then his kick was just didn't do the play justice, and it sucks the energy out of the team. But like you say, we get more chances, so it's not like finally we got our shot on goal and he stuffed it. We generate more and more opportunities at the moment, which is great. But for similar reasons, he was mine. The other end of the scale, I won't forget it this week, Maddie. Who was your boy?
I went for Cooper Lord. I thought deserved a shout out for his great form.
Yeah, he's on my list.
When he first started playing on the wing, I was like, what are they thinking? Like he's not a wing player. I don't see him having good games out there, but
Don't question Fraser.
Don't question him. And he seems to have found a bit of a home for it. He does it in a bit of a different way. He sort of gets into more of the contests rather than, you don't ever see him too often exploding out in the open spaces like Akers might. But he really manages to have an impact, and rounding out his game, which is probably nice to see as well, gives him he's sort of pigeonholed in the inside mid spot, and you're just wondering how he would ever get a game in the team with all the guys ahead of him in that position. But he's managed to find a spot, and he's just been getting better every week.
I agree. He was on my list this week. And that's what I love about what Fraser's doing. He's not just saying, okay, you're a mid and there are other mids ahead of you. He's trying to find a place for the best players in the team. Obviously, he's moved Cher around. He's moved Lord out to a wing. He's like, if you're a good player and I can find a spot for you where you might shine, I'm going to give you that chance. So, yeah, I thought Cooper was really good this week. I thought it was one of his better games for the year. He caught the eye. So, great shout out, Maddie. We've already talked about him. I was going to give Hollins a shout out, Ollie Hollins. I thought for that, as you said, coming into the team and playing with a bit of grit when I wasn't sure if he might have had the cue in the rack given the context of the season for him. But we've already talked about him. So I'll actually also give Kemp a shout out as my boy this week. He didn't make my votes.
3 straight.
Yeah, that banana goal, and he set up more. So probably very stiff not to make my votes upon reflection, isn't he? But he had, after going missing last week as well, and I think he was my whipping boy last week, he came back and had a presence this week.
He's had a funny season. He started hot, started really well, like kicking and marking, and then he lost all form and looked like we were wanting him dropped almost every week, but we just didn't have a replacement.
For the same reason of the Gov and Young thing, then missing the goals just kills you.
But he couldn't even hold on to his marks there for a few weeks. And then he got his hands back, and then now he's been kicking better. I wouldn't say I trust him over the ball, but he's definitely gotten better. And at the start of the year, if you told me he was going to kick 36 goals, I think, for the season it is for him, and lead our goal kicking for the year, I would have been like, sure, every day of the week. If he gets a bit more...
How many he could have kicked.
That's what I was about to say. If he gets his goal kicking in line, he probably could have had a 50-goal season.
Yeah, exactly. It's crazy, isn't it? I think it's such a good thing, Maddie. We obviously had the huge Charlie trade in the off-season, and it used to be just Charlie and Harry and then daylight between the next goal kicker. The spread of goal kickers that have had like 20 or more. I think there's 6 players that have had 20 or more. I saw something flying around this week.
First time since, it was like 2003 or something, wasn't it? I can't remember what it was, but
how
first
good
time.
Is that?
Really good.
It's a better way to play than relying on your 2, and if you don't get anything out of them, where's it coming from? To have this spread of goal kickers that can pop up, it's taking the pressure off Harry too, I think, as well. And it's Kemp's one of those, but the midfield has been kicking goals, the small forward's been contributing. It's great.
I think what it screams is system over individuals. Totally. I think previously we were relying on individuals to do something remarkable to do it. Like we need Charlie to kick 100 goals, and
we need him to pop up and turn his game around.
We need Cripps to have 35 and 15 clearances and 2 goals. And,
it's so true, Matt.
Whereas nowadays, you look at the spread of disposals even, you look at the spread of goal kickers, how everyone gets involved and doesn't, especially in the old style where And look, we're probably overdoing it as a team slightly with our disposals. We are chipping and kicking and getting ridiculous amount of disposals. But it must be nice being guys like even down towards the bottom, like guys who are getting 15 touches a game now who
get their hands on it.
Yeah, exactly. In the old system, we're probably lucky to touch it 5 times for a whole game. So at least, I don't know, probably, just keeps everyone warm, keeps everyone involved. And like you're saying, we're getting that nice
engaged
even spread.
In the game.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of that, he's not on my list, but I actually want to give Wiedering a little bit of a shout out. I felt like he played a bit better this week.
Yeah,
and
looked
was better for the run.
Yeah, I mean, it was
what do you think?
Great matchup for Tracy, and I thought he looked really comfortable back there, and it was great. I think he looked a bit better this week than last week. I agree.
Yeah, I think so. It was interesting though. I noticed the absence of Haynes in that back line, that's for sure.
Yeah, the amount of times he uncannily will read the play and just swoop in and take the intercept mark, especially when it seems to be when all is lost. You're like, oh, they're out or we're stuffed here. It's like way outnumbered, and his hands would just go up there and rip the ball down and save the day. He has a really good habit of doing that.
Completely.
Yeah, so he was probably slightly missed, but
he'll be back
he'll be back
this week, no doubt. You mentioned him earlier. Let's talk about him. Benny Ainsworth. He had a ripper game, had a ripper season, as you said.
Yeah, massive. I think it's the most ever disposals he's had in a season, the most ever goals he's had in a season. 20 touches and 3 goals, going at 80%.
Huge.
Massive game from him. And it's been a position we've struggled to fill that high half forward. And it was we've talked about how Voss's game plan probably didn't cater towards it. But you look at some of the guys we've brought in, so Ainsworth, Hayward, Byrne as a small forward, Frankie Evans. They're all just having such great impact, and it's probably part of the reason you get that even spread. But he brings a bit of a toughness and a bit of a character difference as well, Benny Ainsworth.
He does. He's got a bit of that, mongrel about him, doesn't he? Which we love to see, players playing with a bit of an edge. Walsh is the next player I want to talk about because goodness me, he was everywhere, Matty. He was so impressive. When the game was on the line in particular, everyone popped up eventually when we started to run away with it. But when the game was there to be won, he was working hard, breaking the lines, getting the receives. He hit up Benny Ainsworth for a beautiful critical goal with running out of the back line and getting the receive. I was keeping my eyes on him because I noticed it a few times and I just started watching his running pattern. Instead of watching the ball a few times. And he'd always end up back in the chain. He works so hard, and I thought he was the best one out there, to be honest. Yeah,
he sort of almost becomes like a half-backer when we bring the ball out. He loops around the back of the play and then looks for the handball give and uses that running power of his, which is probably his main weapon. It's his go-to. And I love the way he did it. And it gets him, like you say, involved in the chain. He might get 2 kicks or a handball and a couple kicks, and he just runs it from one end to the other. I think my favourite vision of him during that game was when Sarong was trying to chase him and just, had no hope of catching him. He just absolutely depleted his tank, and Walsh was just streaming away from him. And I think he's found a way to really use that strength, and the game plans open that up for him. And he looks good doing it. Looks really good doing it. Makes him a lot more damaging. He's always been pretty handy at the in and under and doing some of the other work, but when he was shining early, it was when he was his running ability early, and he used to win it out of the contest and push forward hard was sort of how he made his impact. But now he's doing it in a slightly different way where he, as I said, he tends to loop around almost behind the ball and then go from back to front down the ground.
Yeah, no, he was excellent. Loves the high pressure game as well.
Yeah, he's a finals man. We mentioned that the other week. He's a former finals MVP.
He's hitting his straps. As is Blake Acres, there's these players who just crop up as the pointy end of the year.
I know. Our team's
Blake was good again.
Team's littered with accolades. Like, if you sort of ignore all the team stats, and if you just listed some individual accolades in the team, we've got, finals MVP, we've got 2-time Brownlow medalist, we've got a Coleman medalist. Like, it's sort of stacked with individual accolades for
all
a team
Australian defenders.
Which really a team that hasn't had a huge amount of success over the last 10 or so years. It's sort of funny to see all those things, but another finals, another chance for him to impress in finals.
I can't wait to see because he does rise to the occasion. Jacker as well.
Yeah, he was good. He's come back hot.
He's effectively a first-year player. He's really... I think he's matured already. Like taking that snap that he did for the goal, or just taking the responsibility. Yeah, he's happy to have the ball in his hands and use it. He's reached another level, I think.
Yeah, he burst onto the scene, but looked a bit almost nervy with ball in hand, just almost like he didn't feel like he deserved it, but he wanted to get the ball in his hand, so he sort of got it and gave it to someone straight away, and had some good games, don't get me wrong. And then he also had that little flat patch in the middle of the year, and I thought, okay, well, that's him done and dusted for the year. Yeah, he'll drop back to a 20 possessions a game and do his little thing. But he's done the opposite. He's gone the other way. He's gone straight to the top echelon of our midfield, and
he has. And
there was a lot of talk about him complementing the rest of our midfield, and you can really see it between Smith, Walsh, Cripper, Hewitt, Chera, Ainsworth, all these guys. They all sort of bring something a little bit different, and he's been important.
It's a nice mix.
Yeah, I mean, he gets tagged. He's often getting tagged, and then you can see.
Who did he tag?
That's the thing. That's what makes me laugh about our team now. There was a game the other week where I think they first came out and they tagged Smith, and then they tagged Cripps, and then they tagged Hewitt or something like that. Like it went all around the midfield. It's just like, well,
Walsh was on a tear, and my husband's like, "Why aren't they tagging him?" I'm like, "Well, they might go to him now, but then you got Jagger, and then you got Cripps, and someone's going to crop up." And Hewitt, I thought Hewitt was huge in the third quarter, Maddie. Another great game from him.
Yep, he's been he didn't get a goal, which he's been doing every week. But he's been
Cripps
good.
Cripps got a captain's goal, which was lovely to see.
It's very nice. Solid game from Cripper.
Yeah, and speaking of goals, we should not go into our votes without mentioning Frank the Tank's career best 5. Isn't he in a vein of form?
5 goals. Yeah, he is. Feel like he got pumped up by the commentators, and then that's led to almost better performances. I don't know if he goes home and watches the replays and psychs himself up. But
he's drinking his bathwater.
At only 11 touches, but 5 goals, couple tackles.
Impact.
Huge impact. He's had a hell of a season. For a guy who I thought was a Matt Owens sort of clone, a bit like didn't sort of tick all the boxes.
Matt Owens, sorry. The best trade in the history of the world. That we ended up with Jagger Smith.
I know. Although, you talk about trades that Durden's had a great year and we got rid of him as well, which is
true.
Which probably would have been handy. But yes, Matt Owens wanted a fair bit of cash after having a half decent year, and was he injured over at West Coast? I have not seen his name mentioned.
He hasn't done much
in a long time. I don't even know if he's in the team. Anyway, I'm not sure what the deal is with him. That was a bit of a blast from the past.
Tangent.
But no, Frankie has definitely proved me wrong. He's had some great games, but I didn't think he'd be able to maintain it. And I know I always thought he was about 30 years old, so the fact he's 25 blows my mind.
I can't believe No offense, Frank, but it is a surprise that you're at which is good news. Which is good news for us. Before we actually go to the votes, Matty, your thoughts on Pito's game?
Not bad. I thought
he held his own.
Yeah. Do you see his interview after the game?
No, it was obviously his 100th. Sorry, Pito, I haven't given that shout out yet. That's a crime. I love the Pito Pit.
Yeah, the Pito Pit was mentioned. He was very funny. He said he felt the pressure, felt like he had to perform for his 100th.
That's so funny. He's a funny character.
Let him down. He is. He's very funny in interviews. He's very good. And I thought he did a great job. Luke Jackson's an amazing year, an amazing ruckman, and I think he'd obviously done his homework a bit because the amount of times he negated him in the ruck. I know obviously Luke had his moments, but then who was their backup ruck? I'm just going to have a quick look.
I can't recall.
Because I felt like their backup ruck almost had more success. Mason Cox, maybe it was Cox I'm thinking of.
Oh, it was Cox. Of course it was Cox.
Almost had more success in the taps there for a while than Luke Jackson did.
Interesting.
Which was sort of but I guess he's a bit of a taller, probably a harder one to match up on him. But yeah, no, generally I thought he had a really good game. I know he's getting on a bit, but I feel like that needs to be his base level if he's going to be our number one ruck and hold that spot long term and see off any sort of challenges from some of the younger rucks that are on our list now. I feel like that's where he needs to be at. Yeah. Like, it wasn't crazy. 20 hit outs, 17 touches. It wasn't a...
Solid.
He had that really good game. Was it last week or the week before where he had a...
Yeah, last week.
Yeah, I mean, kicked a few goals against the Saints, I think I'm thinking of, because he kicked a few goals against the Saints. Yeah. I mean, that was obviously a high tier game. But I think the game against Freo, if you get that out of him every week, you'd be pretty happy.
He's going to be a very important piece of the puzzle next week with Maxi Gawn as the matchup.
Good point.
That's going to be big. Quite critical to our success or otherwise, but we'll get to that later on. Let's not keep the people waiting any longer, Maddie. Let's get to the BluePod B'n'F and crown our winner. Do you have the top 5 in front of you? I've got the top 3.
Oh, yes, the one you sent me earlier. I can read that out for you if you like.
Can you work it out if we're the top 5 or should we just do the top 3? This is working it out on the fly. We apologise. But as you do that, Maddie, I want to give a shout out one last time to Luke, who has tallied the vote for us week in, week out, sends them without fail, far more reliable than us. And we're super grateful. And I'm a bit nervous to announce this winner without him checking it. So, Luke, feel free to check our work. And if there's any corrections.
Yeah. I do like the way he splits them up in between who's voted for who. It's actually really quite interesting.
I know. We actually might tell the people about that. So, Matty.
I think I've got the top top 5 if you want it.
All right, give us the top 5. Let's go from 5 down. And have you got the way we split the votes, or is that pushing my luck?
You want me to read out everything? Oh, like we're announcing it. We're not going to say who we voted for and all that stuff.
You're right. We should do our votes first.
So I thought you've jumped the gun. I thought we should.
I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm excited.
So we'll have the wrong side. We'll have the leaderboard here with what it is pre-votes. We'll do our votes and then I'll announce the top 5.
Okay. Do you want me to quickly give a pre-votes? Here's the top 5, and Matt will announce the post-votes. So in 5th place pre this week, we have Harry Dean on 19 votes. I've given him 13. You've given him a measly 6, Maddie. So what's going on there? George Hewitt, we've both given 15 votes each. He's 4th on 30. Jagger Smith, pretty even. You've given him 22. I've given him 24. He's on 46. Cripper, you've given him 25. I've given him 29. He's 2nd on 54. And at this point, and not going to be caught, let's just be honest, Walsh is in 1st place, 36, 35 votes respectively, 71 in total. So how did you split them this week, Maddie?
So I was doing some last-minute math for the update on the leaderboard in a sec, which will be beautifully updated. If I get it wrong, it will be correct on the graphics.
Okay, if you're listening and not watching, you can click the link to the YouTube, which will be in the show notes, or search us on the BluePod YouTube to see the visual tally board as well. I'll post it on our Instagram as well.
I voted... I wanted to give a few out, so I had to spread them a little bit.
Did a bit of scattergun?
A little bit. Note from your book. I went 2 votes to Walsh, Smith, and Evans.
Good. Crime that Walsh didn't get an extra one, but that's all right.
I know. I thought all had outstanding games, and I gave singles to Florent, Ainsworth.
Good call. Florent was great. We should have talked about him.
He's been in good form lately. Hewitt and Pitto to round it out.
Yeah, good.
Just
I like
it.
A
bit of a 100th there. It's not going to affect the leaderboard. So
give Pitto a nod.
Yeah,
I like it. Fair enough. I gave Walsh the 3. I thought it was a 3-vote game from him. I would have given him more, but I likewise wanted to fit a few more in. So Jagger got 2, and then to finish off my votes the way I always do it, I scattergunned the 5. Ainsworth, Hewitt, Frankie, Cripps, and Florent got 1 each. Maddie, handing the hosting duties over to you to announce our top 5. Press on.
Apologies if this is incorrect, but I don't think it'll affect the orders. So the order will be the remain even if the tally's not 100%. Walsh ends up... Oh, sorry, we should go...
Oh, my goodness, he's spoiled
Well,
already.
they can probably figure it out. They've ever seen in 5th spot. Smooth operator. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Harry Dean makes the top 5, I believe.
He maintains 5th spot.
I
think
I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure he's maintained 5th spot with 19 votes. Coming in 4th was Georgie Hewitt, who forced his way back into the team and finishes in the top 5 with 32. In 3rd spot, and an outstanding effort in his first year, the one and only Jagger Smith will finish with... technical difficulties. Jagger Smith will finish with 48 votes, which I thought was fantastic.
Did you give him a vote this week?
Yeah. Yes, he got 2 votes from me.
And he got 2 from me. So won't he finish with 50?
50. Sorry, I told you it was quick maths. I did 1 vote each from each of us rather than 2 votes.
That's all good.
And then Cripps.
That's worth commenting on. Dean and Smith, 2 first-year players, make the top 5.
Which is pretty impressive. So
good.
Cripps with 55 votes, who failed to chase down the runaway for this year's BNF, BluePod B'n'F, was Walsh with 76 votes. If I was more prepared, I would have gone back and looked at previous BluePods and see what sort of vote tallies the winners have got in previous years. Might be interesting to do.
Maybe we can do that next week. Let us know if you want that in the comments or in your responses, or let us know if this has been painstaking. We can take it.
If I've had a surge of enthusiasm late at night here, I will have a previous winners somewhere.
Okay, cool. All right, we'll see if Matt gets excited and does something with the graphics and puts the previous winners. I would like to see the previous winners. That would be interesting. Walshy has run away with it. What I'm looking forward to is when we do our first pod next year, we revisit our crystal balls from the prior year. I wonder if we predicted Walshy as the BNF, and goodness me, we would never have predicted this year going the way it did.
Although,
so that would be a funny episode.
I feel like our predictions won't be as bad as I thought they were going to be halfway through the season, because we're obviously optimistic at the start of the season, and then it was looking horrendous. So maybe...
Thank you, Fraser, for rectifying. And speaking of Fraser, shall we jump into the 3rd quarter and do Coach's Box? All right, the Fraser graphic will be floating around if you're on YouTube, and if you're listening, you'll just have to picture Fraser in a hoodie with a gold chain around his neck. A visual of that being put up on the YouTube. Maddie, the changes. Oh, I don't actually have them in front of me. I'm going to have to think of them off the top of my head. Haynes and Hayward
out, and Ollie Hollins and Young.
Young came in.
Yeah,
I'm
pretty
no
certain
complaints there.
Yep, I thought that made sense. I reckon they'll probably be the first two out next week, though.
Yes, I think that's exactly right. So no issues with that. Give us the stats for the game, and then we'll get into phrase ball.
All right. So as you'd expect from our team, we had absolute ton of disposals, 413 to 300. Plus 10 on the inside 50, so pretty good there, 52 to 42. Free kicks, 14 to 16. I've got to say, besides a few of those ones that we weren't too pleased with in the last quarter, didn't notice the umps as much as previous games.
Oh, interesting you say that, because Dad said that in the first quarter the crowd was filthy. With some of the...
Didn't look as bad on TV, did it?
No, but that's interesting.
Yeah. We did get absolutely thumped in the hit-outs, 22 to 39, but we had a massive win in the clearances, 43 to 30. So that's plus 13 in clearances is a commanding win in the middle there. Centre clearances were plus 5, 19 to 14, and around the ground 24-16. So absolutely obliterated their midfield, which is full of a lot of very good players. Sarong, Brayshaw, Jackson, etc.
That's amazing that we've obliterated that midfield. What is happening?
The one that contested possession, 126 to 104. We also had a mountain of uncontested possessions. Marks, which gets talked about a lot nowadays, we had 127 to their 71. Mm-hmm. The Brisbane Lions game that we get accused of imitating, they used to their stats 90 marks. If they get more than 90 marks,
that's what they're aiming for.
They normally win. But ours is way higher than that. Marks inside 50 is another stat that we've been doing well in. The way we move the ball in lower eyes nowadays, we won that 22 to 15. And tackles, we had a lot of the ball, so they won the tackle count 52 to 40. Tackles inside forward 50 was pretty even, 9 to 8. So I think really the clearance work from the boys in the middle is probably what jumps out at me there in that game.
Yeah, huge. And as we said, that's going to be massive next week, Maddie, because Pitto's been good in there and Gawn has that habit of hitting it out of the area.
Gawn's smart, yeah.
Yeah, so it'll be really interesting how Fraze combats that. What have you noticed? I guess we've been seeing Fraser's game style for a while, but to me it's just that changing of angles. Yeah. You go in, it doesn't work. It's that hitting that first option. I did think Ollie a few times went for the Carlton of old boring switch, and Billy Wilson went, nah, I'm biting off the kick instead, actually. And I think at one point Ollie pointed to him to do the switch and Billy bit off the kick instead.
Yeah.
And I liked that vision they released of Fraser coaching, and he said something like, see it, hit it. Like, as in you see the option, you hit the option in his address to the boys. And I feel like it's just coming through. We're biting off these kicks. We're doing it well. We're changing angles and put that on top of the fundamentals, to be fair, that Voss had built around contest. And we're hard to stop at the moment.
We are. Speaking of see it, hit it, there was one that stands out to me. And I feel like it may have been Ollie Hollins, but I could be wrong. Could have been Waiters or someone. But there was one where we were in the back pocket, coming out of the back pocket, and Dirksen made himself available on the half back flank, like a 20-metre kick. And then the player ignored him and kicked it long over his head down the line. I think they may have even kicked it out on the full or something like that. And Dirksen was like, mate, I was right here. Like, I was right here. I'm the option. Free. Like, I'm the free option. And I remember seeing that and thinking, it's a fair point. That's our game plan. Like, you hit the easy kick. But instead we went for the
open guy.
Yeah, we went the long down the line and it didn't work. And I thought that was just interesting, especially someone like Dirksen who's cementing themselves in the team and probably feeling a bit more at home nowadays. But I thought it was good of him to speak up and be like, hey, like, you're not following the plan. Yeah.
Did you see Weeders getting around Dirksen when he did a big spoil, though? I love that. They were celebrating. He punched it out and Weeders ruffled his hair, and they both really enjoyed it. So the culture in the team seems really good at the moment.
Life. They are loving life. And why wouldn't you?
Completely.
You've probably had your football, I don't know, natural instinct of football has probably been suppressed over the last 5 years. You've been told you can't do this or do that, and they've all been living in fear of making mistakes, and I reckon that probably contributes a lot to our poor goal kicking over the years. I think there's a bit of mental fragility there, obviously, and if you're a good goal kicker, you're a good goal kicker, but I feel like, and I could be wrong, but we've talked about how Voss minimised mistakes, and I feel like the whole Voss mantra was like, don't make errors and always play the safe line. I think all the players were just petrified of turning the ball over or making a mistake, and then what happens? You get nervy and then you do those things. So they must be loving playing with this bit of freedom. Like I say, everyone touches the ball. You have young guys like Jagger and Dean injecting a heap of energy, and Wilson and Haywood's a character. Yeah.
Haywood, we missed him this week. He brings the energy too. Yeah, gosh. It's hard to believe it's the same team we were talking about in the front half of the year, because it feels really exciting all of a sudden. And interestingly, I saw someone post on Twitter or something, we don't even need Voss's one solitary win to make the finals now. We've won it. We've made it just from Fraser's wins, which is just crazy. I think you said last week, imagine saying to any team, start the season halfway and see how you go.
Yeah, literally.
Pretty unbelievable.
I'm just got one thing that I thought that would be a real problem for us on the weekend. That's interesting. Yeah. And we want, it's good. So there is a chance of rain, but it's in the middle of the day. I don't think we're a team that wants wet conditions with the style of play.
We do not want wet conditions. We want the Marvel roof closed, which we're not going to get.
I know. We want to possess the ball. We want short kicking hand marks, although we would have learnt a lot of lessons from that Hawks game when it was pretty extreme. But, that's one thing that is potentially a hole in our –
is it going to rain?
In our ability. It says 35% chance of rain, but it's all in the middle of the day at the moment. This is a long way out, a week out. So we'll have to check earlier time. But yes, we want dry.
We want those dry
pristine conditions is what we need.
We need pristine conditions for the footy. So Maddie, let's talk about it. Obviously, the huge wildcard matchup with Melbourne on Saturday night. We will be there. We hope everyone listening will manage to get their tickets and be there too if you can. Going to be super exciting. What do you think we need to do, I guess we're in coach's box, strategically, selection-wise, to get across the line? The D's are a good side this year.
I don't think we're going to see any surprises with selection. I think we'll see Young and Ollie out, and we'll see Haywood and Haynes back in. And we'll just see.
That has been the signature of Fraser too, minimal changes.
Yep, we'll structure up. That team's been winning. I can't see anyone else that would be
no, I agree. Yeah.
Available. That would force their selection. So I think that's, in terms of selection, you're right. I think your point about Gawn's a big one.
Yes, I'm worried.
I wonder if we'll see the team effort of, there used to be the old tactic of beat up Gawn when he went, everyone just lay a body into him, make him feel contact wherever he goes, slow him down. He's in good nick, Gawn, but he's not getting any younger. He's definitely in the twilight of his career.
Do we need someone to clear the area for that big fist out of the immediate zone? I'm sure they've planned for it.
Yeah. You just need the... you would knock it forward when you do that. You're never going to belt it backwards. So
towards you, you
probably just if that becomes a tactic, I should maybe try a sweeper, bring up one of your wings or one of your forwards comes up to the contest, and then allow someone to be free out the back, perhaps patrolling and stopping that. But we've seen it before, so we're probably aware of it. And then the other one, he hasn't been in as good a form in recent times. He did at the start of the year, but Pickett is one that we'll need to be keeping an eye on. Yes. He can tear a game apart. But
Cowan for Pickett?
Probably. He's quick. Cowan has gone with them before. He's probably the pick, isn't he? Probably the pick. He goes up into the midfield, but Cowan's shown that he can follow up the ground. So I think you're right. I think that's probably the go. That's probably one thing we are missing is a half back or a back pocket with real pace that you can sort of go, that's definitely he'll take him. But Cowan has got the job in those types. I think you're right. I think it's probably the pick. So they're
who else it would be really.
They're the two big threats. Van Ruin is out for them, suspended for punching or collecting Alir in the face. So he's out. So he's probably one of their better forwards. So they're going to be depleted on tools in the forward line. They got just a bunch of young guys that are playing some pretty decent footy. It's really funny though, because Melbourne have always beaten us to the punch. So they mastered the inside tough game with Petrarca and Oliver, and they had they won their premiership, and everyone was like, that's the way you got to play football. And we almost tried to play the same way with our team, and then they switched and adopted a new style under King before we did. Now we've switched with Fraser. We've both got Rucks as coaches. We've sort of been following in their footsteps.
We're on their
tail. For years. So it'd be nice to sort of maintain our finals authority over them and
I was going to say, do you think that'll linger in the back of their minds? I mean, that passage of play is burnt into every Carlton fan's minds. Is it burnt in the same way into Melbourne's fans'
There'll definitely be a few. I don't know how. I reckon Melbourne would be similar, but I saw someone say today that over half the Carlton team is different to when we played in that final, and Melbourne would have a pretty high turnover as well. So yes, there'll be a few that remember that moment, but I think there's a lot of change there.
Yeah, interesting. All right, Maddie, we've got a fair few questions that have come through. Thank you to everyone for responding to my late call out. So let's jump into the fourth and open the mailbag. Okay, each week we do a call out for your questions on X at the BluePod. Yes, at the BluePod. And sorry, I was like, which one's got the dot? Instagram, the dot BluePod. And also, if you're listening on YouTube, we love your comments below. So please leave them. And Maddie's getting back to you all, which we love.
Not me, just whoever the moderator is.
Whoever the moderator is, the mystery moderator of the YouTube.
Maybe we give Luke access.
There's also a mystery moderator of the socials who is different to the YouTube moderator, who may be. You guys have been legends because I did the call out very late, Maddie, but we've got some questions. Dom in the Den says, do you think we've grown a bit of mongrel under Fraser? Love seeing 4 or 5 players go after Voss twice during the game. Also, is it fair to say we have an 18-year-old redhead setting the standard here? And Dom also gives a big hug to a certain goddaughter who will get this message secondhand. So big hug to Dom's goddaughter. But Maddie, a bit of mongrel under Fraser led by Harry Dean?
Yeah, well, I think we've also had a bit of a change of personnel. So under Fraser, we've now got the likes of the Ainsworth, Dean, a few more hard-edge guys. But I do feel like, I don't know if it's the camaraderie
Cowan,
or something.
I think's got a bit of hard edge.
Yeah, I don't know if the camaraderie's lifted a bit and they want to stick up for each other more. I feel like Dean, though, deserves a lot of credit. I think he's really his attitude, I think, sort of takes a few with him for better or for worse. But I think he sort of, everyone sees this first year skinny 18-year-old doing it and thinks, well, if he's going to go up and get in Voss's face, I better go back him up.
I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
But I love that. It's a bit of physicality. We've been this soft, polite team that hasn't scared anyone to have a few melees during the game, and I'm here for it. And I think you're right. Harry Dean does deserve a shout out for that. Blues for me has just put the Ted Lasso believe, so we sure do here.
Slap
Justin
that.
Lloyd's slap that exactly. Justin Lloyd says, "What are your top 3 moments of the home and away season?" Oh, that's a good question from Justin.
Top 3.
What comes to mind? I've got a few. Cripps marking the goal square against Geelong.
Oh, good one with the goal. That was huge.
Yeah,
that's a good one. That's definitely right up there. On the spot, I'm struggling to think of.
I mean, there's recency bias. The Hollands tackle was nice.
Hollands tackle was fantastic. That's a good one. I feel like we've had some good goals.
I'm sure the Brisbane game I feel like that whole game was a highlight of like my year / life.
Harry Dean,
I'm sure there were moments in it.
Harry Dean kicking a goal and Harry Dean flexing after his spoil.
Harry Dean kicking the goal and the big flex after this. His goal was Brisbane game. That's definitely up there.
That Brisbane game was a bit of a coming of age because there have been a few question marks about the team. Like we're just beating up on poorer teams or not. So to really dominate a team that was in good form at the time was pretty massive.
Yeah. Harry's goal was the best moment from that.
To be honest, I think the big moment, without wanting to point out the obvious, I guess, but Voss stepping down and not that we sort of had a moment of Fraser taking over, but Voss stepping down really was really what
was the catalyst.
Is really what when you look back on the season, you'll just think of, that's the season where Voss stepped aside 10 rounds in and Fraser took over. That's probably what you're going to look back and think of the season.
Yeah, that's going to be the defining thing, isn't it?
That and
the harmonica.
The harmonica. Who can forget the social media team's been good. The harmonica was fantastic. But I think those moments, along with Cripps and Walsh lifting up the cup after the grand final, will probably be the ones that we.
Those will be the Fraser, you mean?
Yeah,
Those
Fraser.
Will be the moments we look back on most fondly. I love that, matey. There's been some good moments. Hopefully, even better ones to come. James Calaf says, "How valuable has Pitto become, and will Moore? How do you say Ashton's name? Moore be in our squad next year?"
Say Moore.
So, question 1: How valuable has Pitto become?
I think just in the fact that he's our only senior AFL ruckman, that can sort of deliver consistently to the standard makes him very important, I guess.
Yes.
And his recent performances, we talked about those, just been fantastic. So it's just been good, and I think there's a bit of an era with the change of rules and the way teams are playing that ruckman can be very dominant, and we've seen a lot of ruckmen be very good. So really turn a tide, like a Cherry or a Gawn or a Jackson. There's a number of them that can really hurt you if you don't have a good ruckman. So obviously a very important position on the field.
I think when he was out for a couple games too, because we were a bit down on him, and then we realised when he was out, we need him back.
What we need. And then will Moyer be on the list? That is a tough one. Man, all the talent in the world, but if we had some better options up forward, I think he would probably get culled, but I think he probably gets maybe a 2-year contract just purely because we don't have a heap of depth in that area of the ground at the moment.
I feel like he's got potential too. I wouldn't want him to necessarily be let go of yet.
I know.
That will be interesting.
Did you see that? And I wasn't aware that Logan Morris was taking 2 picks after him in the draft. So we picked. Talk about a sliding doors moment. I mean, look. Obviously, teams had every team had multiple picks by that stage, but we took Moyer at 29 and Morris went at 31. So,
ouch.
What could have been? There must have been too many decent key forwards left at that stage in the draft, and we tossed the coin and went the wrong way.
Took a punt. Yeah, interesting. Tim W says, "Is the MCG our biggest hurdle next week? All our high-quality wins have been at Marvel. We struggled against Richmond and Essendon and lost to Hawthorn and Collingwood, and our only shining success was a 4-point win against Geelong. Does our short kicking game make it harder?" This is a very good point.
I think it does.
As much as we love the G to attend.
Yeah. And I haven't heard it mentioned this season so much, but there used to be a lot of talk about the firm surface at Marvel. You know, you run on top of the ground or whatever, rather than the soft turf at the G, which is a bit slower. I think it's definitely possibly a concern for us, although I think maybe more of a concern if we're playing more of a top side. I think Melbourne shouldn't worry us too much, hopefully. I don't think that's going to be – I think we're good enough to beat Melbourne, so as long as we rock up and do our thing, we're good. But, if we had the choice, I think we'd definitely be playing at Marvel if we could.
Yeah, I agree. It'll be interesting. That will be a challenge. Let's hope it's not too wet, as you said as well, Maddie. Sam the Bald over on Instagram says, "Do we play Lewis Young as a backup to run with Gawn, a backup ruck?"
No, I don't think you do. Like, I can see that it's not bad thinking. It's something we didn't talk about. But I think just generally for team balance, I think we're pretty happy with Cripper and Harry playing that backup role. Yeah.
Yeah. Demona Splans. Here we go. Logan Morris. Do we go hard for Logan Morris? And is Essendon finishing last good news for Cody Walker? What are your thoughts on that, Maddie?
First of all, on the Cody Walker.
She's done dollar signs after Logan Morris. Yeah. So do we throw the bank at him?
I think we do. For the Cody Walker one, I think it's a good thing. I think Tigers would have been guaranteed to go Walker first because he was part of their academy, whereas
yes, you said,
yeah, Cochrane is probably the consensus number 1 pick at the moment. So I think hopefully Essendon follow general thoughts and
don't screw us over there
on that. So that would be big because that's like 400 odd points or something like that.
Yeah, it's huge difference.
Which would really help. And then on the Logan Morris thing, I think he's got 1 more year to go on his Lions contract. And if he gets to the end of the year and hasn't signed, I would be offering him huge money. We should be banking everything we can and offering him the biggest contract anyone's ever been offered.
Yeah, Maddie's all in on Logan Morris. I agree, though.
You'd be paying him at least, I'd be happy to throw him at $2 million a year or something like that. Like, you know.
Whoa.
Yeah. I mean, well, he's the best key forward in the comp. I mean, I know he's
young.
Recency bias, just kicked 8 goals on the weekend. But even before that, he's perfectly what we need, and he's the best in the comp. And if we had the cap space, I think you'd just
Which
go
I think we do.
super hard.
And it might this form that we've had at the back end of the year just helps so much to make us appealing to players like that.
Yeah.
So fingers crossed. Speaking of trades, Jenna Species, has Curnow leaving actually helped our forward entries? I think we touched on this. I think it kind of has with, well, not even the entries. I don't guess we didn't talk entries, but goal kicking wise, I think it's helped have a better spread.
I think so.
He's really, won a Coleman, we must say.
It's very hypothetical. Because he only ever played under the Voss system, so it'd be fascinating to see what someone like a Fraser could have done with a Curnow and a Voss, a Curnow and a McKay. But I think having that more mobile and, like we say, spread of kickers hasn't hurt. Although we're talking about the one thing we need is a key forward. So if someone said he wants to come back, I'll be like, yeah, sure, come on back. But yeah, I think what the better answer is I think we've done fine without him.
Yeah, I think that's right. I think at the end of the day, we're happy enough with our team, as Chris Davies said, is overall better in the end. So we'll take it. David Ben Schneider, 11, says, is this run purely momentum or are you just that good at football now?
Just Carlton.
Yeah, he says, is this run purely momentum or are we just that good at football? I think Fraser addressed this and said this isn't built on emotion, it's method in his presser.
Look, don't think you can deny there's some momentum there. But it'd be nice to think if we're just this good. We're all hoping that we're just this good at football.
Yeah, exactly. I think the next few weeks will tell, particularly with the mental fragility, as you said. We'll finish on this one from Reeves Drums. Could you please each lock in a specific guess as to how deep our finals run will go?
A specific guess on how deep our finals run will go. So I say we beat Melbourne.
Yep, touch
And
wood,
then
but
if we
of
beat
course.
Melbourne, I'm pretty sure we play Geelong.
There are easy beats. Lock that in.
That's as good as a buy. And then I don't know who it is after that. Then we're getting up to the pointy end. I could see us getting at least 3 games deep, I think.
Who would be after that? I can't recall.
It gets really confusing with the way they lay it all out. Let me see. I did have a thing up. Let me see if it's here. Okay, so if we beat Geelong, we will play either Freo or Hawthorn. You'd want Hawthorn, obviously.
Well, we just beat up on Freo, so that's fine.
And then, well, the reality is we're probably going to have to go to interstate and win a prelim interstate. So say we beat Melbourne, say we beat Geelong, then we beat Hawthorn, which would be a fair old run.
That would be outrageous.
Would then either have to go to Perth and play Freo or probably Brisbane and play Brisbane. So, look, it's not going to be...
It's not easy. But nothing's impossible with this team, Matty. There's magic about it.
Let me recap. It may not be quite that bad, but it's almost that bad. So we go... This is really dragging out. I apologise. So we beat Melbourne, we beat Geelong, we beat Hawthorn, we beat Brisbane in Brisbane, and then probably meet Freo at the G
for the grand final.
For the grand final is the most likely opponents and routes.
Path to the list. So what's your prediction on how deep we can actually run?
I
hope we get those first 2 at least.
Hawthorn would be a tough one. I think Brisbane up at the G, I think would be really a big ask.
We were up hugely at the quarter time in a prelim up there.
So true. We could be back. We could be back at the scene of the crime. Look, I'll say I think it's optimistic rather than saying the whole thing. I think we could get to Brisbane. I think beating Brisbane might be a stretch up in Brisbane.
Yeah, I want us to at least get the first 2, but someone's got to say it so we can clip this if it happens. We'll go all the way, Maddie. We'll see Freo at the G.
Yeah, easy. No problems. I could see us beating Freo 130 to 80 in the granny.
That sounds good, yeah. We are a threat though now, Maddie, although I hope this all doesn't come back to bite us if we get knocked out before we begin the campaign next week. But we're just happy to be here. We're happy to be playing Wildcard. I am so pumped for Saturday night. What is your final prediction, Maddie, for margin? Obviously, we're predicting a win.
Yeah, look, we're scoring. I reckon it could be it's going to be a bit of a tighter game in finals at the G, a bit wider. So we'll score 95 and Melbourne without a forward line will struggle to kick more than 10 goals. So maybe 60 points, 95-60.
A comfortable victory over Melbourne to take us into an elimination final against Geelong. Love that prediction. I hope it comes true. Blue Baggers, this is exciting times. We'll be back next week. We're not done with the season because we are getting some late August, I was about to say September, but late August action. We're playing finals. So hopefully we have a game to preview this time next week. Fingers crossed, Maddie.
Let's
go Blues. Let's go. Take on the D's and give them another horror memory. We'll see you next week. Thanks for tuning in.
You crushed this pod, Matt, again.
Thanks, Tess. I know. Thanks, guys. Tune in next week for more.
Go Blues.